hasn't even been a week since the Nintendo Switch 2 launched, and we already got a new game announcement for the Switch 2, which is crazy. It was a random drop on a random Tuesday, which is kind of normal for Nintendo at this point. But rather than dropping it on Twitter, doing the whole Twitter Direct thing, like with Paper Mario the Origami King, or Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, they posted it on Nintendo Today first. Granted, they did put it on the other apps, like Twitter and YouTube, an hour later, but it still was effective because I did first find out about it through Nintendo Today, so Nintendo Today did do its job there. But we got the announcement of a Splatoon spin-off, which is really cool, and is something that I've been wanting for years. Like, I would say I've been wanting a Splatoon spin-off for, like, nearly a decade now, I would say. I mean, not quite a decade, because Splatoon started 10 years ago, but, like, ever since, like, the time kind of after Splatoon 2 released, I've kind of wanted Splatoon to kind of mix things up and do things a little different, since Splatoon 2 was obviously kind of building off of Splatoon 1. But on the Switch 1, we ended up getting, like, Splatoon 3 instead later on, which was a really good game. But I did think it was a tiny bit unnecessary, because I thought they were gonna maybe save, like, a new Splatoon game for the Switch 2, but Splatoon 3, like, still ended up being pretty good regardless. It had a very good story mode, and I have yet to play Side Order, but I heard Side Order was pretty good. It's a very cool roguelike side mode there, so I'll probably try it out before Raiders releases. But Splatoon Raiders is exactly kind of what I was thinking about for, like, a Splatoon spin-off. I feel like this is exactly what the series needs. And I know that the series technically, like, is innovating, like, with its DLC and everything, like Octo Expansion, like the things that Splatoon 3 added, as well as Side Order did add some interesting new features to the series, but I feel like it kind of needed to mix things up even more in, like, a bigger way, and I think, like, a standalone title that's a spin-off, separate from the other Splatoon games, makes a lot of sense, I would say, and I'm really glad that they're doing this. This is something that, like I said, I've been wanting them to do for a very long time. And from the looks of the game, while we don't know much about it, it looks really good. Visually, it looks incredible. Definitely alongside, like, Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'd definitely say it looks a little better than Mario Kart World, because I don't think the areas will probably be as big as Mario Kart World. But yeah, definitely graphically, like, alongside, like, DK Bonanza, I would say. I could tell it's definitely either running at, like, 1440p or 4K, and definitely, like, I could see how smooth it is, too. Like, I could kind of tell it's, like, 60 FPS here. It's just so nice, and it looks really good for the Switch, so I could definitely see the visual upgrade from Splatoon 3, which is really nice. And the genre, I think it's kind of, from what I've seen, it might be leaning towards a survival type game, because it seems like you're in, like, a little more of an open area now. Like, not quite like open world. It might be open world, I'm not sure. We really don't know much about this, but it definitely seems like it's gonna be much different from what we usually expect from Splatoon. Like, because usually with, like, the story modes and missions in Splatoon, it's kind of more linear areas most of the time, but this seems to be much more open. And I think that's pretty cool. That's another thing that I've been wanting from, like, Splatoon, like a more open-ended kind of story, or just, like, single-player mode. So this kind of seems to be what that is here. I definitely think this is going to be a lot different from the single-player modes in the Splatoon games, because this is a standalone spin-off, and they have to have some sort of hook, or something kind of differentiating it from the other Splatoon games. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be like a survival game. That's kind of the vibes that I'm getting, is it's like, basically, their helicopter crash lands into the islands here, and it seems like they're just trying to, like, find different resources and, like, build up a base. It kind of seems like something like that, and they're also trying to, like, find a specific thing in the game. So like in these islands that they're in. So it definitely seems like there's something there that you have to kind of collect or find. And I think there might also be like a crafting system as well, because the Inkling that you play as is a mechanic, and they also have like a robot or like this thing kind of following them around. And they also have a gun with a soda bottle and a bunch of things attached. It kind of looks like slapped together and almost something that was crafted or is something that could be upgraded throughout the game. So it kind of does seem like there is some kind of crafting system in place, like upgrading your weapons or your clothes or your robot companion. It just makes a lot of sense considering that the player character is a mechanic. It just definitely seems to be hinting towards that, and also just the fact that like it's kind of hinting towards like a survival type game here. So it would be cool if the structure of the game has you go out into this big open world, or at least somewhat open world, defeat enemies and then get like the drops from them, also find materials, like maybe just like random like raw materials laying around, like collect those, craft them into things, and just continue to progress, find basically like the main MacGuffins of the game, like whatever Deep Cut was trying to find on these islands. I feel like that will probably be the main thing that you have to find in this game, on top of trying to like become stronger and trying to survive on these islands. I just think that would be really cool. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. So I definitely think it will be something much more unique for Splatoon from what we've seen so far. And I think it looks pretty exciting. We really didn't get that much info on it, but it does look very, very intriguing from what we've seen so far. And I'm just wondering when this is going to release, because we didn't even get a time window for this. So I'm thinking it might be a 2026 game, because Splatoon 3 was announced very far in advance. So this might be releasing as late as like spring 2026. It might be quite a while from now. It could be sooner. Like this could be like a title that's released like later in the year, like maybe like early in October before Pokemon Legends Zaza releases. They could always squeeze it in there. But I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. They didn't even give like any hint of when this could be releasing. There might be a possibility that this could be clarified in a direct, like maybe we get more gameplay, we get a release window and things like that, because some people are saying like, oh, because we got this announcement, we probably won't get a direct now, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. We got barely any info here, so I don't think that rules out the possibility of the direct. Maybe they wanted to tease one game through like Nintendo Today first, and then they'll like show more information in the direct, and then they'll reveal like something else or something even bigger in the direct. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because there's a lot of games that we need to see more like clarification on. And I know they could do that through Nintendo Today, but just with how things are looking, I think we could still see a direct like later this month. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. I think Splatoon Raiders looks really good, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. Honestly, I'm actually a little more excited about this game than I was for Splatoon 3, because it looks even more unique and interesting, and I love the single-player content that the Splatoon series offers. It's usually really good and really fun for the most part. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!